Remember that time there was a giant hailstorm during the show? Well, my car was damaged, but after jumping through all of the insurance hoops, I got a call yesterday saying that I can finally take my car into the shop in Camrose. So I've extended what was supposed to be a 2-day trip to see my parents, which is fine, except that I didn't bring my tripod. Right now, the camera is balanced on top of a rather precarious tower of boxes and books, and let's just say no one would guess that I'm the daughter of an engineer. My parents are hosting a woman from Ashoro, Japan for the weekend. She doesn't speak a lot of English. I mean, she speaks more English than I speak Japanese, but the conversations are still pretty stilted. Now, I'm gonna tell you what I remember happening, but I am certain my memory is not accurate. At no point was anybody sure of what the other person was trying to say, so it's all a bit muddled, but I'm gonna string some stuff together, and you can just know that it happened. Maybe not quite like that, and maybe not in that order or for those reasons, but my perspective, artistic license, whatever. It started when she told me about her brother. He teaches English to junior high students and uses picture books as resources. I think she must have known she was going to talk about that and looked up the words in advance, because that was hands down the easiest thing to understand all night. And it makes sense. Someone was bound to ask her about her family, and if I knew someone who taught Japanese, I'd tell her. So then mom asks her if she likes to read, and she says yes, and then she's talking. And maybe she was listing books that she's read, but I could have sworn I heard her say Harry Potter. So I say I like Harry Potter too, but our pronunciations of that name are very different, so she didn't understand what I was saying. So mom went to the living room to grab her copy of the 5th book, which she is currently rereading, and when mom handed it to her, she just lit up, both because she could now understand what we were saying, and because it's Harry Potter. She likes Harry Potter. She's read all 7, she couldn't stop. And I thought, cool, I wish we could talk about it. I want to talk about our favorite characters, our favorite books, when we figured out who told Aunt Petunia about the Dementors. But I also want to ask a lot of questions. I'm assuming since she couldn't stop reading, she read them all at once, but she's older than me, and I was 17 when the last one came out, so what got her to start reading them? When did the books become popular in Japan? What's the difference in the translations? What are the spells like? Does she know what a ridiculous name Hogwarts is for a school, or is it just another English place like London or Oxford? A little while later, I saw her looking at the book again, the covers and the first few pages. And I don't know what she was looking for, but I thought if it was me, I'd be trying to figure out which book it is. And if it was in Japanese, I'd be judging by the cover art. So I held up 5 fingers and I pointed at the book and I said, "It's the 5th book." And she smiled and nodded, but I have done my fair share of smiling and nodding, so I probably have a lot in common with this woman who is a school nurse, has a brother, and likes Harry Potter. But without the ability to communicate, that'll never be more than a gut feeling. Which isn't to say that it's not the truth. 7 billion people on the planet. Most of them don't speak English. But that doesn't mean we're different. We all have family and friends and responsibilities and heartache and joy. I probably have a lot in common with most of them, and something in common with all of them. But without direct communication, it's hard to understand that's possible. And where there's a lack of understanding, there's often fear and anger. And where there's fear and anger, there's hatred. I don't have any answers. Just stay open to the stories. Not the ones that create an us and a them. The ones that turn everything gray. The ones that make you feel uncomfortable. No, I'm not talking about 50 Shades of Grey. One of the many things I've learned from J.K. Rowling is that while it's often easier to be more logical than kind, being kind makes all the difference. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Bye!
Why is there a pool noodle?